Hey guys, it's me, Misty Dawn here, and I am back with another tutorial on how to digitally paint in Photoshop. I am currently using Photoshop CC, but there are other versions out there like CS6, CS5. This should work for your other versions. By no means am I an expert at this, so I'm just going to show you the way that I learned how to digitally paint things in, and I actually learned a faster way, so I'm glad I learned that quicker, faster, more, convenient way of doing it compared to what I used to. Anyway, so get your line work up. I already had this lined in a drawing I previously speed painted for you guys in another video. If you don't know how to do your line work, I do have another tutorial on how to use the pen tool to line things in. It's a quick, easy tool to use in order to make straight lines, curves, and all that kind of jazz. So that'll be popping up probably somewhere on this video, so you can click that, pause this video, and then come back once you've learned how to do that. Or if you already have your line work and you're all good, you're all set to go, then that's fine. Okay, so what we're gonna do, first of all, I'm gonna zoom into my creation here and make sure you have your ink layer. This was the line art, but I kind of whited it over. And you want to make a new layer and make sure this layer is underneath the ink layer. Otherwise, this will be over the ink completely, and you don't want that because I got some line work here that I want shown over it. I'm going to name this hair because I'm going to color in the hair. It's a good idea to name your layers, otherwise, if you don't, like sometimes I neglect to do because I want to get on with it kind of thing, you will, in the long run, it'll be bad because then you won't know what layer is what, and then you'll have to go through all of them to find which is which, and it's just better to name them. So anyway, get your hair layer, go back on the ink layer here, select your magic wand tool, and then click on the hair. Now this isn't like, all of it selected, so what you want to do is you want to hold down the shift key on your keyboard and just select all of it that you can get. There's like little bits down here. I don't know if I'll be able to get that in. If not, it's see, I don't know what that, no, then selected something else, so I'm gonna Control Z that, which is the shortcut for how to undo things. So that's not gonna work. Sometimes you can't get it all, and if you can't get it all, then you're probably just gonna have to go in and touch it up a little bit, but sometimes that's what happens, but for the most part it's going to cover most of it. So the next thing you want to do, because since it's kind of like right here and you want it to go over the line work, so what we're going to do is we're going to make sure you're still in your ink layer. You want to go to select, modify, we're going to do expand. I'm going to say 2, so I'm going to click 2. See, now it'll go over the line, and that's what you want to do. You don't want to be too inside it, because otherwise you're going to get like a white sort of rim around your drawing, or just before it hits the ink part or the line work, and that's not going to be very good. It's not going to look very attractive. So now that we've got that done, you want to go back to your hair layer, make sure it's on hair layer, because now we're going to do the coloring in process. Select whatever color you want in the foreground. I just picked a blue, and then select a tool that'll allow you to basically fill it in, or give you the option to right click and hit fill. I just usually go on this. It doesn't really matter, whatever works for you. Hit fill, foreground color, and there we go. So deselect that, and as you can see, you really need to go in and touch, little bits here and there up, like, the ends of the hair need to be touched up. I think there's like little pieces here that I just forgot to get, but I'm not going to probably get into the tedious part, since this is just a quick little tutorial to show you guys basics. So the next thing we're going to do is shading, because shading makes things look better, more realistic, give it more depth, and that's really what you want to do when you color in something digitally. You want to give it as much depth and feel and good overall look to it. So you want to create a new layer above this layer, and we're going to do something called clipping masks. The beautiful joy of clipping masks. And why are clipping masks really good? Well, because if I clip this to this layer, just the hair layer, whatever I color will only stay within the hair section. It won't go off somewhere, so it actually saves a lot of time, a lot of cleanup, and like I said, it'll just stay within the selected area, so I can be as free roaming as I want with stuff. So I'm gonna call this hair shadows, because I usually just go with the base color and then I kind of do the shading, like where the shadows are, where I want the light to hit. Now, in order to make this a clipping mask, because it's not a clipping mask yet, it's still just a normal layer above this layer, hold down Alt, and hold down Alt and go in between these two layers, and you should see this little arrow right here, so hold down Alt on your keyboard. Once you see that little arrow, click. And now it has just become a clipping mask to that layer. So now that we got that selected, go back to whatever your base color is. If you lost your base color, you can just hit the eyedropper tool and it'll get it back for you, just like that. And select a darker shade of what you just did. So I'm gonna say, hey, that's dark enough. Cool. Now select a brush. I'd say a normal brush. I had it on something else because I was doing other things. So I'm gonna say basic brushes and whatever size I want. Doesn't really matter because I'm just gonna alterate the size. You can alterate the size by I don't exactly know what they're called. I'll probably show it up on the screen somewhere. But they're like little keys on the keyboard that'll like maximize and minimize the size of your brush easily, shortcuts. So I'll probably put that somewhere on here in order to explain that better with symbols. But anyway, so now I got a brush selected. Let's say some of the shadows are in here. So here we go. I'm shading in some shadows. Oh, I don't really want particularly that part right there. But let's just say there's a lot of shadows going on in here. And like I said, you can alterate your brush at any point with that shortcut, which is very helpful because this takes a long time to do. It really does. Like, digitally painting something in is not easy. If you want to do it, you know, put a lot of obviously effort into it. Sometimes it can take like up to 6 hours depending on how big the project is. But yeah, that's generally what you do. So I got some shading going on here. I don't know, I'm just gonna say the light's hitting her, say, in this direction, and if that's the case, I'm probably just gonna shade accordingly. So yeah, say there's some shading going on here. Yeah, because it's where the light's hitting. Now, I'm not being overly precise with this just because, I mean, it's a quick little tutorial and just to show you how to do it. I'm not like the greatest at shading either. I mean, I still have to learn myself on where to properly put the shading and things on, where to properly shade in regards to where light hits and stuff. But I mean, you know, for the most part, it's basically just, you know, follow wherever you feel the light should hit and go from there. So, you know, I'll put a little bit of shading here underneath the bow, down this way a little, just like around here. Okay, so that looks good. You know, I probably could have did a little bit of a better job with it, but like I said, quick tutorial on this, so I don't want to be too critical about it at the moment. Okay, there we go. Just wanted to even this line out a little bit more. Okay, so and if for whatever reason you wanted this to blend in better, you could probably smudge it in, but for the most part, because this is kind of like cell shade, I'm not going to do that. So yeah, so that's basically how you would shade. You can continue making clipping masks, like say if you wanted to like add another clipping mask to put in, you know, lighter sections, like highlighting sections of the hair. You know, if you want to make it even darker tones going in here, you can do that. You just got to continually make more clipping masks. And that's, and say if you just wanted, like, you know, more a darker color, for example, on the hair, you know, say I want something even darker, and then I can just, it'll just go within the shadows here, and I can just do this, and then it'll be a darker shade to it. And then, like I said, you can then make more layers, make more clipping masks, as many clipping masks as you want to shade things in. So yeah, that's kind of the basics on how to color in sections of your drawing, and you would essentially do the same thing with other parts of this drawing, like the skin, you know, whatever else, the bow, the ears, the bell, the neck thing, whatever the heck you want, really, the eyes. So you can use that little trick for many things, and it makes it so much faster to do it with the selection tool and clipping masks. So anyway, I hope that this tutorial has helped you and that I explained it somewhat well, that you could follow. I hope I went slow enough for you guys, enough for you to follow this tutorial. If you would like to see more tutorials, you know, maybe on this in particular, I mean, I don't know how much more I could particularly show you about coloring, but if you require additional help, I mean, you can always post a comment on this video, and I'll try my best to help you. And for whatever reason I don't know the answer, I'll try to research it and get back to you as well. I do plan to do other tutorials, like on other programs such as After Effects. I was actually asked by someone to do a tutorial on After Effects, so I plan to do that. And you know, maybe any other Photoshop tutorials, any other tricks you would like to learn about Photoshop, let me know, because you know, I will eventually do a tutorial on what it is you're asking. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to be quiet now because I don't want this going too long. So thank you guys for watching, and until the next tutorial, take care. Just makes, for example, a line. It just makes a path. It's not actually a line, it's just a path of where you want your line to go. So for example, okay, this is my line. I've hold down the control key on your keyboard and just tap the arrow key, the up arrow key, twice. And that's going to make it like go into the background.